My name's Luke Perry, and this is the PUMA Pilot in 5 minutes. First, I want to acknowledge our incredible team of clinicians, health economists, statisticians, nurses, and consumers. We're also fortunate to have obtained full funding from the Australian Heart Foundation and ANZCA, and we're endorsed by the ANZCA Clinical Trial Network. Let's get stuck into it. As we know, pulmonary artery catheters are commonly used to obtain physiological data such as the cardiac index, mixed venous saturations, and pulmonary pressures. These data can be used to guide therapeutic decisions and have the potential to improve outcomes. Pulmonary artery catheters may also be inaccurate, with one study suggesting that the true cardiac output must change by as much as 25% to be reflected in the index. Swans can also result in rare but catastrophic complications related to their insertion and use. And the use of data derived from swans may lead to overly complicated perioperative care and delayed discharge from the intensive care unit. What does the evidence say about their association with mortality? Well, from our meta-analysis of observational studies, the pulmonary artery catheter was not associated with short-term mortality. Our follow-up study on long-term outcomes revealed a similar pattern. It has been hypothesized that pulmonary artery catheters lead to unintended complications when the data they generate are used to guide therapeutic decisions. The evidence shows that they are associated with a 15 hours longer stay in the intensive care unit, higher fluid balances, and certain complications. While the available data do not support the routine use of pulmonary artery catheters, no randomized clinical trials have ever been conducted, so we are unsure of whether the observed associations are due to a true effect or simply unmeasured confounding. Indeed, there have officially been more obituaries written about the pulmonary artery catheter than there have been adequately powered randomized trials. So what do the guidelines say? Numerous international society guidelines have weighed the evidence. The recurring theme is that there is low quality evidence, no clinical trials, and that pulmonary artery catheters may or may not confer a benefit. All of them called for a randomized controlled trial to address a critical lack of evidence. So, what are clinicians doing in Australia and abroad? International surveys reveal a high degree of variability in practice. Our own analysis of over 150,000 cases from the Australian private sector revealed marked interstate variability, with Victorians approximately 20 times more likely than Queenslanders to be managed with a PAC. So let's put it all together. Given the findings of the observational studies, the complete lack of a randomised trial, weak guidelines, marked variation in practice, and the demonstrated willingness of our community to change their practice around pulmonary artery catheters when high-quality trials are published, we believe that there is an urgent and unmet need for a trial like the PUMA Pilot. I'll now go over some key design elements of the PUMA Pilot. In short, we are conducting an international, multi-centre randomised controlled pilot and feasibility trial of pulmonary artery catheters versus central lines in adults undergoing low-risk cardiac surgery. Our aim is to prove that a larger, definitive trial is both feasible and acceptable. PUMA will be conducted at the Royal Melbourne Hospital, the Victorian Heart Hospital, and New York Presbyterian Cornell campus. 150 adults undergoing isolated coronary artery bypass grafting, surgical aortic valve replacement, or aortic root surgery with or without an aortic valve replacement will be enrolled. We are conservatively excluding any patient with a predicted mortality of greater than 2%, in addition to several other criteria including pulmonary hypertension. Our trial is fully pragmatic to maximise acceptability and external generalisability. Aside from an initial strategy of inserting a pulmonary artery catheter or a central line, all aspects of patient management are at the sole discretion of the treating team. We also won't expect you to order any additional tests or collect any data. As we are a pilot and feasibility trial, our focus is on feasibility endpoints like protocol adherence, recruitment rate, and acceptability. We're also collecting a range of clinical outcome data to pilot PUMA 2. However, we're not focused on hypothesis testing statistical analyses on these outcomes. We're initiating at all 3 sites between July and September of this year and anticipate completion of our study by the end of 2025. This research will power and inform the design of PUMA 2, a world-first trial with the potential to transform global practice and improve outcomes of cardiac surgery. Thank you very much for listening. Please reach out if you have any questions or would like to be involved in PUMA 2.